Hi guys, this is Samuel Cabriales. As I had promised you, today I'm going to share how to do a payroll check in case you want to do your own payroll manually and then provide a report to your accountant. I'm going to show that on screen for you, explain to the best I can. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and message me, send me a comment below. These templates I do have available. Thank you very much, and let's go on to the actual sample. So a company, right, is a sample. You could just start creating an Excel for your company to create your employee check. This has formulas in it and these as well to compute the total tax payment that is sent to the IRS. So I gave a sample for $1,000, but we're gonna make it for $100 to make it more simplistic. So let's say the wages are $100. As you can see here, this becomes $6.20, and that is because that is 6.2% of wages is the Social Security base for an employee, and the Medicare is 1.45%. So right here, you can see how it deducts $6.20 and $1.45 here. The federal withholding does have to do with whether or not the individual is married, filing a joint tax return, how many dependents they have. These things affect how much a person gets withheld. You may have somebody that makes $20,000, has 2 kids. Their withholding will probably be 0. That changes the total computation. The way to find out, right, is to have them fill out a W-4. When you are actually online, you're able to pretty much go and pull out the withholding calculator from the IRS website. And in here, you can start crunching in the different situation statuses, and it will tell you, okay, what is their filing status? Single. And then do you or will you have a job that regularly withholds taxes? Yes. And you start going through this, we'll get you a rate of how much to withhold. There are actual tables. So there's withholding tables for single 2023, or the year that you're doing the payroll for. So if you go on here, you go to the very last page of the publication, you'll start seeing these tables come up, where it tells you the wage amount is between this, and the person is single and has this many allowances, that many kids, then you withhold this much if it's between this paycheck and this paycheck. So let's go to $100 for somebody single. So 0 to 440, you know, they're on a monthly payroll in this case, but you look for the weekly one, right? Let's see if we can find the weekly one here. Semi-monthly, bi-weekly. I think we're almost there. So yeah, here it is. So weekly payroll, 0 to 285. Let's have 2 allowances. Married, okay, we had said single, right? So let's look for single. Married, weekly single, here it is. So single right there, 0 to 105. You withhold pretty much nothing if they have allowances, right? If they start making over $100 for their check, is when you start withholding $1. So let's say it's $1 for the sake of this example to simplify. You would come and enter $1, and you know, the total deductions in this case would be this stuff right here, $8.65. So the net pay would be $91.35. So let me show some formulas on this. So let's see. Show formulas right here. So if you're able to see this, Social Security is wages times 0.6062, and then Medicare is wages times 6.0145, which is 1.45%. And then the deductions, total deductions, is this plus this plus this. That would be this formula right here. And that gets you net wages, right? In case y'all want to screenshot this and have like how the formulas were computed, you could pretty much do that. Now you can go ahead and screenshot that, right? So there you go. Let me remove the show formulas and go back to explaining. So let's start from the beginning, the paycheck. So wages are 100. We go to the actual tables with the IRS, figure out a like a single weekly payroll, single person making over $100. We used $1 example because it wasn't given as nothing on federal withholding here. So that gets you to the net pay, right? These are fixed percentages, which would be 6.2%. Say, for example, this was $1,000, it would do $62, 6.2%. But we're going with 100. So as far as the employee net pay, that's it. Employer taxes, how do they work? Very common question I get. The way this works is the employer taxes are the employee gets a withholding at $6.20. The employer matches that. The employee gets a withholding of $1.45. The employer matches that. The federal withholding is something the employer doesn't match. I left this on purpose. Why? Because these are taxes that are paid on the employee's W-2 for their tax payments. They have nothing to do with an employer. So nothing to do with the employer, right? And then when we add all this, we get $16.30. So to recap, I made a check for $100. After deductions, the employee gets 91. So what is the company forking out, right? This is where people tend to get confused. So the net pay to the employee, and then we have the taxes that are remitted, including withholdings, plus withholdings. So that's what you're gonna be sending to, coming out of your bank, I should say. This is what's gonna come out of your bank. So what's my total, right? I paid 100. I'm paying $107.65 because as an employer you bear a cost, which is this one, these two added right here, $7.65. So you end up sending some money yourself as a company to the IRS. How do you do that? You register and pay through EFTPS, which is called the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System, at this webpage, eftps.gov. There's that little lock. Make sure it has that little lock for protection. So that will get you pretty much an idea of what you need to be doing, paying net pay, paying the IRS. The depositing schedules are based on how much you withhold, right? If you withhold $2,500 or less in a quarter, you're a monthly depositor. So you would run all your checks for the employees and send the money to the IRS whenever the month ends. You would send that by the 15th of the following month when the month ends. So if I collect in January $1,000, I have to send that by no longer than February 15th. That's how that works. And you would do that through EFTPS.gov once you've signed up. The process to sign up is you sign up, you get a PIN in the mail, confirm your bank, and you start making payments. And there's this tab right here, make payment. Once logged on, you can see payment history and everything. Very friendly system. I have a video actually in my channel, one of my first videos made 7 years ago, that shows you how to do an EFTPS payment. You can go watch that. So now let's go, after I've done check by check, how do I submit this to my bookkeeper, or how do I do the report myself if I intend to do the form 941, right? 941. If you're gonna fill this out, right? This is the form you would fill out. Depending the state where you operate, you would have to also file with the respective state. So let's say, for example, your employer in Texas, and you want to start filing your reports. This is the web page to do it in Texas. You will just go to reporting, sign in, and go through the different steps. So going back to the payroll, you run your checks. You check where you have to file. If you're going to submit this to somebody to have like a summary of what you paid, and they can just prepare the forms for you, save some money, right? You could have something like this where you enter the pay period, their social, masked in this case for protection, their name, how many hours, what the rate was. This also has that formula built in that we observed over here. I'm going to show you all the formulas on this. So there it is. There's the formulas. It also goes through 4.2%, 1. Well, here there was a special rate at some point, so I'm going to update that right now. But it should be 6.2 right now. With all the different economic recessions and stuff that we've gone through, the government has pretty much made changes. So let's change Social Security to 6.2%. And we could just drag that down by clicking this button twice. That'll update our net pay, right? Let's do the same down here. 6.2%. And drag that down. So this gets us net pay. We can provide this to a bookkeeper and they can easily fill out the form. So at year end, right, what am I doing as an employer at year end? Well, you're filing your W-2s with the SSA. You can put W-2 file. They actually call it SSA Business Online. And there you can file W-2s right here on this webpage. You just got to sign up and then you can go ahead and start filing right here. There's an annual report that you do also for the federal. That's Form 940, which is the federal unemployment. As long as you're paying unemployment in your state, you get a discounted rate, and this is the form you file. So every quarter you're probably filing something with the federal, which is the 941. You're filing the Texas Workforce Unemployment Report, the C3 is called, or based on the state that you are, whatever the state may be, that's where you're filing. So you definitely want to check online. A good place to check what the file would be NOLO. Employment, say you're in Delaware, employment in Delaware. So pretty much NOLO will kind of guide you. They're very good about it. You just gotta look for the link, but it's called NOLO. So you can put a NOLO LLC filing requirements in Delaware. So once again, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. Have yourself a great day.